There's plenty of vacancies going, bud. It is the mother of all off-seasons. If you don't mind sleeping rough with the noisy neighbors in 13. Real hellraisers. Well, what's a guy gonna do, call the cops? You must be a riot at parties. Anyway, this is nothing. Nothing. I've covered wars, dirty wars, where crazy runs the show, waving guns up in my face. That place between bad and worse, that's where I belong. In the eye of the shitstorm, the misery and the carnage and time, all slow right down, and I can call it how it truly is. That's where I do my best work. That's where I'm king of the story, man. All demons and devils, not even bothering to wear our skin, whooping like a laugh track in an abattoir, and why not? I'm in on that joke. The best joke of all? We do this to ourselves, but they cannot fucking wait to show us how it's done properly. Wherever there's a critical mass of human tragedy, it's a big flashing come on down sign to them. Yeah, last one I saw went that way. Happy hunting. Yeah, breakfast of champions. Not how the New York Times saw it, but I've been planning the "It's not you, baby, it's me" speech anyway. We stay in touch, trade candid webcam shots. They still want me. But now I'm a free man, baby, swimming in pills, pussy, and dreams of Pulitzers. No more of that human interest shit, not unless it involves horns and a forked tail. So I've been following a dead man around the world. Brit by the name of Theodore Wicker, the Crowley of Soho. He was looking for hell with a capital H. If he'd hung around, I could have given him pointers. Afghanistan, Liberia, Baghdad, Chechnya, Brooklyn. But he came here to East Bumfuck, Maine in '87. Not a great year for fashion, and a terrible year for Wicker. Booked up in room 13, never seen again. Then this roach trap went under and nobody's touched it for quarter of a century. You know, yeah, my man found what he came for. So did I. The Pope was right. Hell is real and it's not other people. This place is a door. That room is the lock. And the merry shit going down here is the key. Can't keep away, huh? Looks like you got the same jonesing as me. And let me tell you, until it got its hooks in, I didn't do obsession. Even my ADD has ADD. It's where I get my edge. That and the fast food. They keep me real fast. No good now. Once you see that place, you've stared at the sun. Close your eyes and it's imprinted on your retinas. Deserts on fire, sky like an open mouth, twisted goddamn creatures with a terrible fucking beauty. It's poetic. I hear them when I sleep, or sometimes when I'm awake. They know all our names and all our bullshit, how to rub an ego and stop just short of climax. They say they'll be my muse, my masterpiece, my Pulitzer, all access, all coke and BJs. Dante never had it so good. It's way past too late for me. Room's coming apart. Guess Wicker clocked out. I can feel it all like a scab picked away to the mess beneath. But there's still time for you to do your thing, whatever that is. And hey, you see my old editor on the other side. Tell her we'll do lunch soon.
To seem ungrateful, but emotion is a phantom itch now. We are not of the same species, you and I. I have no nostalgia for Earth. I cut it out. My body rejected it. Do you know, it was the soul I stripped away which allowed me to commit such awful crimes. Psychopathy is a quite human trait. Now I am beyond the cage of humanity. I am rarefied. This dimension has worked a great alchemy on me. And in return, I mean to restore it to greatness. Every petrified forest must start from a single manganese seed. You're feeling short of breath. The atmosphere is oxidizing your blood, turning it to metal. In my realm, that which does not make you stronger kills you. Go back to your world. Go back with my thanks. When present matters are concluded, I'll see to it that the rifts are welded closed. You have my word.
You, me, on a beach of razor fossils. The vultures of Lang plucking your nerve endings like a fabulous instrument. Call me sometime.
Well, you're lucky Boone's been keeping tabs on you, and that I got here when I did. Don't go hunting lions with pea shooters. Know your prey. I've been waiting for something to happen out here. It's been in the earth, in the air. It's why Boone and me came out here even before the fog. There's power on Solomon Island, the kind that spreads. Filth. And it's waking up. My friend Jack is fond of saying he's seen the worst of what this world has to offer. But he's dead wrong. That was just the beginning. I always knew worse things were headed our way. And now they've arrived. The man you're chasing carries something powerful, and potentially dangerous. I'll do what I can to help, though I lack your particular talents. Hell, it took me 30 years of looking to learn how to cast a simple spell. Nope. I get too close to that artifact, it's a bad deal all around. I hear the whispers even now. And I don't have your natural defenses. I'm afraid of what it might do to me. Of what it might make me do to all of you. I've been doing some digging. As far as I can tell, this relic is what brought the fog here. Or at least what controls it. Whoever wields it holds the fate of Solomon Island in their hands. I can't tell you where that tunnel leads, but the Illuminati dug and dug deep when they ruled this island. It's a network that stretches from Kingsmouth in the east to the Academy in the west. I don't know where this tunnel leads, but it's somewhere west of here. When I was a kid, we built a treehouse out of scavenged wood. Lasted one long summer before the autumn winds blew it apart. Had time for my first kiss up there. Sweet as August apples. The fallen blossom never returns to the branch. But you only lose what you cling to. There's a treehouse north of here. Built to last decades, solid as the oak it's in. Kids who built it were part of a club. Called themselves the League of Monster Slayers, without a hint of irony. Because that's exactly what they were. See, the window between worlds has always been open a crack on this island. Things would sometimes slip through. Kids knew that. They feared it. But they still wanted to fight it. So they built the clubhouse as a lookout, a library, a base of operations. Been there for decades, Red tells me. Kids would grow into adults, pass the torch and the key to younger generations, so it went. The League abided, as did the treehouse, until now. Forest around the treehouse is alive and deadly. I found out the hard way. Almost got myself killed. Seems the ak'ab are particularly fond of that spot. Or they want to keep us out. Perhaps the kids kept something in the treehouse. Something the moths are afraid of. I wouldn't underestimate the League. Before the mountain, and by the grace of nature, I was allowed to realize I am only a child. Club I was part of didn't fight monsters or practice magic. But we did practice other things that long, hot summer. All right. So mostly we just talked about it into the warm nights. But that was almost as sweet. Either you've chosen as bad a time as any for a long weekend upstate, or you're here to do a day's work in the name of whatever master holds your leash. In that case, you've come to the right place. But you're not the first to come looking. Hate to break it to you, my friend. We've had all sorts skulking about. Illuminati, Templars, Dragon, Phoenicians. It's like a gold rush. They smell power, and they want a piece of it. Fishermen by a rocky shore. Winds blowing wildly in a boat unmoored. Storm is coming. Boone and I, we've split the good work between us. He gets the cushy assignment up by the doorway, holding the hands of rookies. I get deadwood here. He has a waterproof tent and hot food. I get dank cellars and animal crackers. And at least I get to play with more than rotting corpses and pale ghouls. There are strange things going on down in that abandoned amusement park. And not just an old-fashioned haunting. It's an evil place. Born of an evil man and the souls trapped inside are screaming to be let out. Heaven and hell are both in the hearts of men. But water too pure has no fish. We need evil for good to exist. My advice to you, keep your shoulders up and your weapon drawn. This is not a good place. And whatever hides here got a taste for life, for taking it, and swallowing it. To know the road ahead, they say, ask those coming back. But if you come across bodies, there's really no need to ask. You'll know which road you're on.
Finally. Are you with Grayson Security? I've been trying to get a hold... No. You wouldn't happen to have a helicopter, would you? Of course not. This is private property, but I won't belabor the fact. I'm not particularly attached to it. Who in their right mind would want an abandoned amusement park on a godforsaken island in the Atlantic? Aside from Nathaniel Winter, of course. Yeah, that Nathaniel Winter. Millionaire. Mogul. Also, as it turns out, theme park tycoon. Nathaniel brought me up here during construction. And even then, there were accidents. Workers falling to their deaths. Equipment malfunctioning as soon as it was turned on. Strange whispers at night, according to the crew, coming from the rides themselves. But he was a stubborn son of a bitch, my father. The park opened against all odds right on schedule. Whole island showed up for the ribbon cutting. But the accidents continued. A roller coaster derailed, killing a family of 3. A 10-year-old kid was found, dismembered, behind the cotton candy stand. An employee in a chipmunk costume went berserk, stabbing 2 teenagers in the eye. By 1980, Nathaniel was forced to shut it all down. There were investigations. It was all over the papers. So he closed up shop. Stayed behind while my mother and I went back to Boston. Never saw the son of a bitch again. I remember Nathaniel telling me once, after the bumper cars crushed one of the engineers, that this was all par for the course. Great deeds require great sacrifice, he said. Next time I saw my father, he was in a casket. He outlived everyone and left me nothing of his fortune. Except... I don't want his money. And I didn't ask for the park, neither. All I want is answers. You can say a lot about Nathaniel Winter, but he never made a bad investment or a rash decision. So why in God's name did he build this park? I've heard them. At night. The rides? They do whisper. Is it? I know I left it right. Oh, God, the stench. To my son, Nicholas James Winter, blah, blah, blah. Where is it? I leave my masterpiece, the Atlantic Island Park, to be restored according to my original plans? What fucking plans, Dad? How did it go? Now, don't tell me. I'm not blind or deaf. I don't believe it's a coincidence those things are drawn to the rides. The fog came the day we got here. I was supposed to fly in, but the airport was closed. So we drove all the way up from Portland. Less than an hour later, it rolled in like an avalanche. Wahid here decided to stay in the car. I headed for the highest place I could find. I didn't think of it at the time, what with those animals at my feet. But it's weird that the wheel's still working after all this time. I can't imagine the power's still on. At least not the electrical power. But that's not what this place runs on, is it? He stayed behind, my father, Nathaniel Winter, when everyone else left. And not because he didn't have anything else. He had his empire. His money, my mother. He had me. But this is the only thing he wanted. It kept him alive for over a century. It gave him power. I'm still not convinced he's not here. Somewhere, feeding on the ghosts of lost children like some kind of bogeyman. What the hell are you looking at? This is private property, you know. You're like a bad itch that can't be scratched. You know why I came up here? To sell it all off. The whole park. So that I wouldn't end up like my father. Stuck to this place. There's gravity here. I don't know who they are, but they have money. And ways to convince you that it would be in your best interest to sell. I didn't care. I didn't need to be blackmailed to sign a contract. What in the name of hell do I want an amusement park for? But now... Now, I couldn't imagine selling. It's got its claws in me like it had my father. It won't let me go. It owns me. It feeds on me. There's no escaping gravity. Time I've invested in you, I figured you'd come up with something. But all you've given me is grief. And now they're coming for me. For whatever dark secrets this tomb holds. They're like you. Special. Part of another world. A secret world. Convinced they run the place. That the rest of us are just shadows. Even if I knew how to escape gravity, even if I wanted to, something tells me I shouldn't. I don't know what'll happen to this place. And the world, if I do.
"99 filthy undead on the wall. 99 filthy undead. If one of them filthy undead were to fall." 99 filthy undead on a wall. The movies lied. They can take one to the head and keep on ticking. The dead keep rising, the buzz fades. Every day it's the same thing. Drink, shoot, ride, shoot, drink. Like a hamster on a wheel. Around and around we go. Do you ever do that? Keep going when it serves absolutely no purpose? When it's already clear you're not making any kind of difference? A reasonable man might say, this isn't working. I gotta change things up. He would do things differently. Look for a way to break the cycle. Find a way to give those things closure. Instead of being stuck in this endless grind. But I write for a living. I make millions repeating myself. What's your excuse? You know, you're just like one of my characters. You love evil. You don't run from it. You don't try to avoid it. You welcome it. You crave it. You invite the pain and you cherish the suffering. You dive right into the filth and you make no attempt to wash it off. And when you finally climb back out, it doesn't matter how bad it smells, how the stench and the taint cling to you. You just can't wait to dive back in. Like a dope fiend hankering for a fix, you don't want it to ever end. You need it. Your entire identity, your raison d'etre, is at stake. Think about it. Who would you be? What would you be without this? Without your precious war on evil, without your secret world, your sacred brotherhoods, your ranks and titles and rituals. You'd be just another rat stuck in the race with a dead-end job, living for a paycheck and the weekends. One long booze-soaked downhill slide towards the dark and cold grave. But you probably believe in what you do. Believe it's right, that it's good. You soak in it so others don't have to. You take one for the team. You bend over and spread your legs and let the darkness inside. And somehow you justify it all with utilitarian pragmatism. You're a bona fide American hero. Get the hell out of here. Go find an abyss to jump into. Go soak yourself in filth. Maybe it'll be different this time. Maybe you'll save them all. Maybe you'll finally find some goddamn peace. Some closure. You're just like every single character I've ever written. Fucked from page 1. We may curse heaven for our fate, but hell is a device of our own construction. The Ebony Tower, #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, 5 weeks running. We are the architects of our own destiny. There's no innocence, only ignorance. Nobody could ever accuse me of empathy, of genuinely caring for people. In fact, they'd probably say that Sam Krieg is a cold son of a bitch. And they'd be right. People don't interest me. The acts of people, now those are intrinsically interesting. Particularly the consequences of those actions. Cause and effect, crime and punishment. It's every book I ever wrote and sold 1 million copies of. So what did the good folk of Kingsmouth do to deserve their fate? I tell you, they were evil. Kingsmouth, Solomon County, pure evil, all of it. Like a modern-day Sodom and Gomorrah. Always was. From the moment the pilgrims stepped off the boat and set forth on these shores. There's a dark rot festering behind the flower print veil of the Labor Day barbecues, homecoming parades, and maple syrup. I should know. The deeper I dug, the darker the hole, the more I found. A goddamn abyss of foreshadowing. I've seen evidence of acts so cruel and demented, so twisted and sick, right out there, that people might confuse them for one of my books. And if you've read any of them, and I'm sure you have, you'd know that this place has blood on its hands, and plenty of crime to its name. I'm sure you know this one. Show a gun on the mantelpiece in the first act. Before the curtain goes down, it's going to blow someone's scrotum off. Upon the wicked shall fall a rain of fire and brimstone.
The key to long life is, apparently, to sit like a tortoise, walk like a pigeon, and sleep like a dog. I have trouble with the first two, but I can sleep through anything. Even here. Word travels fast in this place, and the word is you've met Jack-o'-lantern. I've seen him down near the rides, mostly at night. He's drawn to this place like the bear to the honey jar. He's got history with the farm before it got turned into an amusement park. Bad history. But I keep out of his way, and he keeps out of mine. My battle's not with Jack. He's all yours, Kimosabe. You'll, want to watch out for the will-o'-wisps. They're a good signpost you're getting close. That, and the pumpkins. After meeting the melon-headed freak face to vegetable, I lost my appetite for pumpkin pie. I just keep seeing an eye in there. I don't spook easy. I've spent nights in houses so filled with spirits I had to perform exorcisms to take a dump. That burned house up there, Black House. That place got me breaking out in goosebumps. Not spooked, not that, but affected. In a bad way. It's a cold place. Funny thing with that house. It wasn't haunted before the locals made it so. They were so afraid of witchcraft. They never gave a single thought to what witchcraft does and doesn't do. After the house burned down, they got far worse than magic to contend with. Anyone walked within 100 yards could feel it, like nails on a blackboard. You look for evil in people. Sooner or later, you'll find it. Even when it wasn't there in the first place.
Don't worry. You're not interrupting a parent-teacher evening or now. I'm the witch doctor in residence. It's my lot to teach the kids responsibility over the balance of life and death, given and taken. So this has really pissed the curriculum up a wall.
It is a great, great setback for us all. Loss of life among the faculty always brings up inconvenient questions.
I appreciate the pep talk, HJ.
The last time Mr. Montauk gave me a pep talk, I had nightmares for the rest of the semester.
Anyway, you may already have run into some of the students' familiars out there. They look a fright, but, well, think back to your first shop class projects and how they turned out. Without the kids around to control them, they're running wild. Eventually they'll go pure bonkers, and things here will go even more pear-shaped. I wish there was a cleaner way to contain them, but...
I recommend delivery of a swift, decapitating blow with a spade. A fire axe has a distressing tendency to rebound from the vertebrae.
From experience, aye?
A teacher is only as good as his tools.
Ah, you're trailing our mythical weapon of mass destruction, then? Oh, aye. Educated guess.
They're not too late, right?
I pure hope not. I have a reputation to uphold as the only thing that's Scottish and dangerous on the island. I should have called in the cavalry as soon as it turned up, but honestly, it caught me with my metaphysical knickers down. I had no idea what it was.
It's not like it's your fault, Miss Usher. No one's ever removed anything from the Academy before and gotten through the wards. In one piece.
That open day could have gone better. Anyway, I suspect whoever possesses the weapon lacks the knowledge required to use it, and they'll be looking for answers. The Illuminati built this place with secret passages and tunnels out the wazoo. Supposedly, all their records, covering centuries of occult lore, are kept in an archive, but the archive is hidden.
Wait, the one below the school?
Below the school? Oh, I pure hate it when I repeat things.
I kind of heard about this full-on Illuminati vault. Like, the seniors might have tried to crack the lock a few times, or something. You can see through the floorboards in the old block. I heard.
Ah, that Illuminati archive.
Tell me you're pulling my leg?
No. Well, I couldn't discount a manifestation of unconscious telekinesis.
Well then, there you are. The secret Illuminati archives. Lost to the ages.
I'd been in exile for a very long time. I was forced by false prophets to flee my homeland in disguise, degrade myself by pretending to be something I'm not, to be much less than I truly am. I spent a long time cursing my kind, planning my revenge and victorious return. Eventually, I got on with my life, and now, they're all dead and forgotten by those who once worshipped them. There's a lesson in there somewhere, I'm sure. Thing is, I'm ready to be myself once again. No more disguises. Their false prophecies perished with the White God. I'm free, and I don't plan on anything or anyone changing that. It's beautiful, isn't it? And to think this thing was out there all along, while I wasted my time chasing a fucking hammer. I got what I came for, and I need to be moving on. Places to go, spells to cast, gods to wake. Spoiler alert, we'll fight, I'll win, you'll track me down again, just in time to watch your world tumble into chaos. Title scroll, lights come back up. Oh, wait, no, they won't. If I could kill you, I would. I really, really would. I don't like leaving matters unresolved. I do it cleanly and painlessly. None of the fancy stuff. I'm not that sort of villain. No stage magician. I take pride in my work. And I'm not afraid to get my hands filthy. But unless I grind you to a fine dust, the fucking bees will just whisk you away to safety. I've seen it happen enough times. I'll just make sure you're stuck here a while so that I can get on with things. Farewell.
Did you come for the library amnesty? Regrettably, our alumni schedule for the semester has been heavily impacted by the massacre. Slaughter is a crutch, an unfortunate crutch. I presided as Innsmouth's headmaster over a run of good form for 15 years. Naturally, there have been the usual accidents, maimings, well within accountable risks. As I would tell parents before I was retired from the Reparation Committee, you cannot vivisect a ghoul without breaking a few legs.
Ah, he's paraphrasing. Work with me here, HJ. Moving right along.
The wards of this school, hundreds of years old, are violated. It is unthinkable, but we handle the unthinkable every day. Now things are slipping through, both ways. I'm not sure which is worse for the general health of the island. A thorough investigation will follow as soon as we have appointed new staff and dissolved their predecessors' corpses. Yes, the immediate concern is that the wards must hold. The devices are hungry, rapacious for anima.
Great. We'll have a sacrificial donation drive. Or a bake sale.
Delightful.
At least the war golem's still in formaldehyde.
Huh. It's funny you should mention that.
Funny, comical, or funny peculiar?
I don't really understand the phrase. I was auditioning it for future personable conversation.
Mixed success, then.
We have all seen the reanimated corpses of recently deceased staff. Felt pathos at those once great minds leaking from vacant orbits.
I think I'm gonna be sick.
I have also witnessed professors of an older vintage making their agonizing way through the halls. Historically, many faculty members were convinced to donate their mortal remains to the Academy ahead of their untimely deaths, for the betterment of knowledge. I believe their knowledge is now being perverted by some vandalous hand. One that plays them like fleshy puppets to access areas most forbidden. We possess an Illuminati war golem from the 1600s, purely for reference purposes. The school records of its last activation make for gruesome, albeit entertaining, reading. Such an activation would require a full faculty meeting.
So, this could get worse before it gets better?
Oh, no. I shouldn't think it would get better. To teach the gifted is the highest form of our sciences and arts. Believe me, I have made exhaustive studies of them all. Necromancy is a dog and pony show. Demonology? Please. Leave bargaining with the hell dimensions to the chancers and masochists. Callimetry is brutish puppet work and recollects my days of medical practice. They were curtailed. But my humanistic focus was not shared by the founders of this grand institution, this great experiment. It has been said that there is a skeleton in every closet here at Innsmouth. That is simply not true. They were laid into the very foundation walls. The basement might bleed if you chipped beneath the plaster.
That's a figure of speech, right?
I'm sorry, Carter.
Oh my god, have you ever heard of a white lie?
The architecture was exacting. A pattern, a focus, a tomb, a battery. Stockpiling anima from many sources, not entirely willing sources. It would be politic to close the breaches before they emerge.
The first time you get bricked in's probably the worst time, eh?
From my research, it seems each time begins a claustrophobic eternity anew.
You're like the world's revenge on sarcasm. Do you know that?
Hey, can I talk to you? Chosen one to, chosen one, about a big problem. Obviously not as big a problem as all the other big problems you guys are dealing with outside those walls. But still, help? Okay, so the practical alchemy class keeps racks of replacement familiars hung up in the basement. At least a dozen for every student. It's called practical alchemy for a reason. It's not as gross as it sounds. Okay, it pretty much is as gross as it sounds. Now they're waking up. A whole army of creepy dolls right under our feet. Miss Escher and Mr. Montag want me on the bench for this game, and I know it's to keep their star player from getting injured mid-season. But it feels more like being in the penalty box. I want to step up to bat. I want to help out. I can use my powers. The really freaky ones. You know, they warded the school from the inside because of me. I'm tired of being scared of it, being made sick by it. Maybe that's how my powers want to be used. For me to just say the words and tear it all down. Look, if I set it off, I kinda need someone to make sure I can stop again. Like a chaperone. It's not quite the Halloween prom, but... well, that's where this all started. Worst prom night ever.
A wraith? That's... improbable. They cannot manifest far from their wretched corpse. Only the Yazidi knew how to... Oh, the Yazidi. As a bookish child, I accidentally intoned a death curse that claimed my mother, our neighbors, and a passing couple in the street, though it spared their small russet dog. I was young and needed the knowledge. Carter, this is why I saw something of myself in you. A great and terrible power to be shaped with the care I never had.
That's not really encouraging, sir.
I assure you that your magic has almost certainly not caused any immediately fatal injuries. This loose end has become a hangman's noose. Exorcising the wraith calls for a ritual sacrifice. My ritual sacrifice.
No way.
No bloody way.
In fact, it is the only way. In the realm of the Peacock King, blood calls for blood. Such is the price of foolish magic. I should like that for my epitaph.
This isn't gonna happen, HJ. Obviously, I defer to your massive brain on most matters of the occult, but the only object lesson happening today is you learning about compromise.
That sounds painful.
Less painful than making a pinnacle from your entrails.
You remembered the very book of curses. Truly a model student.
A fringe benefit of my talents is a heightened sensitivity to the natural world, particularly when the unnatural puts the boot in. When the trouble started, some of the staff made a break for the river. Trained magi who could take care of themselves. But something was waiting for them. Nothing natural. It's still out there. Carter and I have had the same dream. A fringe. The harvest at Henderson's farm. Swollen and churning with lava and disease. Like those dead, traumatizing time-lapse documentaries.
Ah, Archibald Henderson's murderous legacy. It is another weft in the fascinatingly grim weave of Solomon Island history.
There is a lot of seriously bad shite emitted from my copy of the school prospectus.
The Academy had absolutely no truck with his creations. Initially. During his life. He was a magus, but at heart a simple farmer. Likely barely able to comprehend, let alone control, his messy undoing.
I come from an agricultural family.
Yeah, my parents grow sunflowers.
I sense this situation is socially awkward.
Ach no, not more than usual, to be fair.
I gotta say, you made a hell of an entrance. Where do you keep that horse you rode in on? I'm just yanking your chain. It's no coincidence what's happening here and happening now, with us and with you lot.
Your move, Uncle Red.
Soon enough. Did you protect your queen?
Maybe. Yes. I don't know. I moved the castle thing to D3.
Great move, if you're trying to kill your queen. Look at the whole board this time. You don't have to fight every single battle. Consider the endgame. Be the player, not the piece.
How can I consider the endgame when I don't know what you're going to do? I'd have to be psychic. Can't I just surrender already?
Hi there, I'm Red, your uncle. If we'd met, you'd know I don't stand for quitters. You always have to play it out, kiddo, even when you're losing, else you'll never learn. Besides, you can't tell when the Joker's going to show up.
I thought we were playing chess.
Kiddo, when you get to be my age, you're allowed to mix metaphors. Sometimes you just have to stall, stay on the defensive, and wait for that unexpected move that changes the whole board.
Sure, I guess. Whatever that means. Guy on horse to, F4?
Now you're cooking with gas, kiddo. You know, kiddo, the thing about fishing...
Oh good, a metaphor. You might want to, once in a while, you know, just say what you want to say.
Well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
A metaphor about why he speaks in metaphors. Nice.
See, the thing about fishing is you need the right bait and the right rod.
I thought the thing about fishing was patience. That's what you said last time.
Well, patience ain't pertinent to this particular metaphor, kiddo. We're not fishing for trout. We're fishing for shark. Shark that's likely to slither through the front door any minute.
Could you please just stop with the metaphors and tell us what the bait is in the story already?
Who? Not what. Your mother.
My mother? Mom's bait?
Like shark to blood, bad things are coming for her. It's instinct. They're drawn to her because of who she is and what she can do. They sense how important she is, and they want her gone.
This is about Grandpa again, isn't it? It's always about Grandpa.
It's not about him as much as what he left behind. My brother passed his gift on to Ami, and she'll pass it on to you.
Great. Mom's bait and we're stuck like lobsters in a trap. My head's hurting from all the metaphors. I need my life to be simple again. So, who's the fishing rod in this story?
Isn't that obvious?
Kyra, did you do the dishes? Kyra!
What? Can't hear you, Mom.
Dishes.
Not yet. What's the hurry? It's not like we're having visitors. Ever again. Oh, visitors, cool. So, are you staying for dinner? There's rice and, stale bread, and the beef jerky my uncle made back in the 90s. He's never been able to sell it. Can't imagine why.
Kyra. I have to apologize for my daughter, but it's not an easy situation for any of us. We're all going a bit crazy in here. I always thought that if we protected the land, if we played our part and did our duty, the land would protect us. So either that was all bullshit, or we haven't held up our side of the bargain.
Yeah, if we could all just get along like a proper family instead of bickering about who said what to whom like 40 years ago, then maybe we wouldn't be stuck here with nothing to eat except canned meat and peas.
That's the price we pay for disunity and discord. But the land is strong and will fight back. Given a chance, we just need to harness that strength.
So what are you waiting for, Mom? Go out there and, like, harness. Beats sitting here eating baked beans. Oh yeah, there's also baked beans. For breakfast, lunch, dinner, and midnight snack. It's surprisingly awful.
It's not as simple as that, Kyra. I wish it were, but we're alone. I can't do this on my own. We need help. In the meantime, we have to care about the little things, like the chores. So will you please do the dishes?
Fine. Fine. If the monsters eat us, at least they'll be using clean plates.
We got a few live ones out here besides us in the schoolhouse. Damn lucky. Or unlucky, depending on your point of view. Take Eleanor Franklin. Keeping to herself in that empty Addams family mansion for years, stewing on bad blood. Sure as hell doesn't like the sight of me and my kin. Or anyone else for that matter, unless it's a cat. Damn shame. I hear she was a ray of sunshine in her day. But most everyone involved with that mind never comes away quite right. You're wondering why all this evil came visiting us, out here in the middle of nowhere. It sure ain't the climate. There's a local legend, And like most local legends, it's probably true, about a war between good and evil that took place on this island 1,000 years ago. Our tribe fought invaders from the south who tried to awaken the darkness that sleeps below our mountains. We fought bravely, but they were many and powerful, and we were close to defeat when
strangers from across the sea came to our aid. I've heard this story 1,000,000 times. Tall white gods bearing a magical sword. Why are the gods always white? And male?
Kyra.
What?
It's a valid question, and one you should definitely ask someone else some other time. The strangers brought a weapon, but they left us with powerful magic inscribed in stones. Your grandfather knew how this magic worked, but that knowledge died with him. Whatever the rest of the tribe knew, they did a hell of a job forgetting. The answer to how our ancestors fought the enemy could be in those stones.
We could certainly use a few gods on our side right about now.
They're here, Mom. At least they're not all white. Or male.